Hi traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar, and I want to welcome you all back. So let me go ahead and grab the bias chart here, and we're going to get started. So let's get this party started already. So early in the morning. It is early here. It's 4:30 in the morning. God, I'm already ready for November. Yes, just please, November. Anyway, so as I told you, overnight I had an order to sell the euro dollar. If it got to 112.50, that didn't happen, and we came short 112.40 and change, like 112.42. And we pulled back, but as you can see, the euro's not doing a whole lot here. I want to show you longer term though what we've been staring at. So first of all, there's the longer term pitchfork, right? It's like this pitchfork formation, very obvious. Everybody's looking at it now. We've had basically these lines drawn since here when it looked like a flag. Long time ago, when it failed to break down at the beginning of the year. Once it failed to break down at the beginning of the year, we were like, oh, hey, there's support there. And then once we hit that top, we were like, oh man, maybe this is a pitchfork. And since we came back post, this is ECB, no, ECB, FOMC. Or is it FOMC, ECB? I can't remember. Two central bank meetings that pushed to barely new lows, really set up the actual pitchfork itself. Okay, and it's been very readable as far as the euro goes. We shorted the euro here, we shorted the euro up here, and it was very clean. Now, the move down, and it's very technical, which obviously I love. All right. One thing that's had me a little skeptical about being on the short side of the euro recently has been the AB equals CD move. We had a very shallow retracement. This wasn't even a 38% retracement, and we knew that because this wasn't even a 38% retracement, because it wasn't even, it set up perfectly for a reversal here. And like I said, A, B, C, D. Once we extended that, it measured just fine. So now, the great thing about the euro dollar that I know is if we break through this 111.80 level, which that's support, which I'm just going to write down because it's right there. I mean, we're basically there, right? That's key, because if we break that, and we break that 111.80, then that means we're heading down towards the bottom end of this channel, or this, the bottom end of the pitchfork, if you will, which takes us beyond the 111.25, which is the 618, and now it's probably going to take us towards 110.50. That's pretty clear to me. Now the question is, this is a downsloping trend line that we have to watch. Let me get rid of this really fast. We don't need that anymore. This is a downsloping trend line that we need to watch, and I will tell you that if we get above 112.50, my attitude is going to change about the euro, because if we can get above here, and actually what's that low? It's 55. If we get above 112.55, we are going to start squeezing. Okay, we're going to start squeezing, and I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm not confident by any stretch of the means that that's going to happen, but 112.55 is going to be key resistance here. Okay, that's key resistance. Now, if you want to play it on the safe side, you have to just wait for one of those two levels to break. What I was trying to do overnight, and we are in a bearish trend, but what I was trying to do overnight is just sell ahead of this resistance. I was hoping we got up here. It could have been short, through here. Now, the question is, do we break here or do we break here? And I don't have the answer. I don't know. But I'm pretty confident that if we break either one, it's going to give us some near-term direction. Obviously, if we break lower through here, we'll then be able to target that 110.50. Okay, which way we go, nobody knows. But that's what I'm looking at. All right, let's take a look at the cable. Now the cable, we gave it up last week. Here, I'm going to delete everything in the cable really quick. And thankful I'm not trading the pound right now. So from this high to low, we did 161% extension. From this high, okay, to the low, from that high to low, we almost hit the 786, all right? And that confluence up here rejected us last week. Eric in our chat room, he was like, hey, is this a head and shoulder pattern? I'm like, I'm not too sure if it's a head and shoulder pattern, but even if it was just a triangle, okay, we extended our maximum distance out of the triangle perfectly on Friday. Okay. We extended perfectly, or was it Thursday? What am I, hourly? So it was Friday. We extended perfectly, and now we've already started resuming its downtrend. Now, what do you do with the cable here? I mean, I don't know. I don't have the answer. Like, I'm not sure what we do here. Everything, as we get closer to the possible Brexit vote. And by the way, I did watch that video, the Brexit movie. Somebody passed it to me on Friday. I watched it. Very interesting. Some of the things that they said was very interesting. I was like, okay, I forget what the number was. There was all these EU officials that get paid more than David Cameron. Like in the EU building, there was like 10,000 EU employees that got paid more than David Cameron. It's like, what? Yeah, you guys should watch it. It's very enlightening. It's if you have an hour and 15 minutes to spare, which I had to do it really early on Saturday morning while everybody was asleep. But I thought that was a really interesting movie. Anyway, I could see why there's a big push, especially if you market something like that, to the public. I can see why there's a big push to exit the EU if you're in the UK. But anyway, needless to say, as we close in on that Brexit vote, it's going to be a lot of volatility, and frankly, I just don't know if I want to trade the cable much. If I see a good opportunity to short the euro pound, I would take that opportunity. But right now, the pound dollar, very choppy waters, very choppy waters. Okay. Now, let's take this low right here to the high. That's a 618, and that's holding. So that's 44.50. Okay. 44.57, which I can just take the low 44.50. I can take the 44.55 level. That should be support. Okay. That'll be support right there. Resistance. Will be right here. So it'll be 155.50. So, I mean, if I was going to trade the cable, which I'm not going to, but if I was going to, I would simply say, well, I'll just get long here as long as, 144.50 holds, and then I'll sell it up here at 145.50. Or, when you get to 145.50, you short it, put your stop right above those highs right here, and then, reverse it. I don't think there's much to do right now. It's very choppy. Yeah, if you guys want to find that Brexit movie, just go on YouTube, type in Brexit movie. It's a documentary. It's about an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. It's interesting. Good way to pass time, especially if you're interested. I tried to get my kids to watch it. Joking. That would never happen. All right. Let's see, where are we at? Let's go over to the Swissy. So here's your Swissy. I got your Swissy right now, buddy. All right. So we had this upward sloping channel from last week. Let's remove that for a second because I think that line did not calculate over very well. Personally, looking at the Swissy, it's like I sure as hell don't want to chase it up here. I want to be a buyer on dips towards 98 cents if we can get it, but the question is, are we going to get it? Basically, if we can break through this 98.60, what's the low here? 62? Yeah, 98.60. If we can break below that 98.60, that's going to expose the downside, the 98. Okay, so I'm going to write down 98.60. Okay. It's pretty key support for today. Let's assume, just because we're right up against resistance here, let's just assume that we break. Actually, let me grab the horizontal line because we're so close, right? So if we break this, parity is next, without a doubt. I mean, their 161% extension is just above, so parity is just, it's your next. Hold on really quick. I'm going to buy some more Canadian here. I just picked up a little bit more Canadian down here. My cost average is 130.78, just so you all know. Let me adjust my stop. Sorry. One more zero. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll get to the Canadian here in just a minute. So the dollar Swiss, we're still bullish. I mean, this thing's bullish. I'm hoping we can break. What I hope is going to happen, and it's like wishful thinking, but I hope we're going to break through here, and then bounce off 98 cents. That's what I hope is going to happen. But like I said, it seemed to me it's very wishful thinking at this point. Okay. And this is, like I mentioned to you guys last week, I mean, this is like one of the most irritating things to me is I'm not long the dollar Swiss, and I want to be. I want to be. But just not getting an opportunity for a dip, and I have a hard time paying up for anything. So I wanted to see a dip first to be long. I just don't know if we're going to get it. All right, let's go over to the dollar yen. So the dollar yen, like I said on Friday, we were set up right here at 110.35. And on Friday, I told you guys, I'm like, listen, if you guys want to short the dollar yen, put your stop somewhere up here above the 110.50 level. It's a good place to be on the short side from a risk reward standpoint. And I told you guys on Friday, I'm not doing it, but if I was going to trade the dollar yen at that point, it would have been on the short side. What I'd rather do is I'd rather be a buyer. So we're dipping, but this is not an area that I'd even want to be along the dollar yen. I'd like to see the dollar yen maybe dip back down towards 108 or so for me to be a buyer. But we broke through this support, so that should allow for a bit of a pullback now. Let's figure out where that might be. If you take this low to the high right there with the 24% retracement, a pullback, which is a 38% retracement, could take us towards 108.60. Someone write that down. And then resistance is, obviously 110.60, but I think that any move up to 110 now, you're going to find sellers. I mean, there's people that didn't sell. They didn't sell it, and they're like, oh my God, if I can just get 110 now, I would look to sell that. So we're in a range here. Ziggy just posted a link on Twitter for the Brexit movie. If you guys don't know where it is, thanks, Ziggy. Okay, dollar Canadian. So I just picked up a little bit more. I'm buying more dollar Canadian because I just think that I think crude oil is weak. We had this butterfly pattern last week, stopped, reversed, and I might have to redraw everything here. Let's do it. Okay. So we came out of this descending wedge. Big ass descending wedge. And the reason why this is so significant, because now that we've popped out of this descending wedge, we're actually looking for some pretty, a decent reversal. Okay. 38% retracement takes us above 133. So ultimately, in this move, I feel that 133 is going to be hit. Question is, for me, is if I'm going to stick around this whole time. We did have this butterfly pattern in the dollar Canadian. That's what took us right here, right? So support will be down here, 131. I'd say it's 131 now, and then resistance is at 131.65. Right, building a nice little bullish wedge here. And just um, and we also have just so you all know, we have this inverted head and shoulder pattern, right? There's the neckline, there's the shoulder, there's the shoulder, there's the head. Okay, and that also points us a lot higher. That inverted head and shoulder pattern points us towards 135. Okay, so are we going to go there like right now? Not necessarily. I mean, but that would be the path of least resistance is going to be higher. So eventually we should break higher. We might pull back a little bit, then break. We might I think a lot of it depends on crude, obviously. Okay, but I still think crude's going to roll over. All right, when we come back, we're going to do the Aussie Kiwi dollar index, everything else. So I'll be back in a few moments. Nordic currencies, peso. I'll be back in a few moments. We'll wrap up the bias chart. Thanks everybody for being here. Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge. Oh, you know what? I just because I just saw it on TV. Did you guys watch that viral video of the lady that has the Chewbacca mask? Did you guys see that video? How many of you guys have seen that Chewbacca video? Have you guys seen it? We have two of those at the house. We have two of those Chewbacca masks. I can wait. Hold on. I wish I could have a picture. Oh my God! It's not two laughing ladies. It's just one lady. The um. It is it is the funniest video. Okay, so there was I watched a TED Talk like a long time ago, not a long time ago, like a couple months ago. I don't know if you guys ever watch TED Talks. I try to watch them from time to time, and there was a video on a TED Talk on what makes videos go viral. This video, the reason why it went viral, in my opinion, is because this lady is laughing so hard, and she's like, and you know when there's a fake laugh, like a ha ha ha, or like a truly a belly laugh. I mean, this lady is like, she is so amused at this Chewbacca mask. She's laughing so hard that it is, it's like kind of like a yawn. Like if I yawn, instinctively you guys are going to yawn too. This lady, she's laughing. It is so far. I couldn't stop laughing myself. I had to laugh. It is so freaking hilarious. But we have two of these masks at our house. I should go grab one for you. I have to go sneak into my kid's room to go get it. But I might do that. I'll do it for you tomorrow. But here, Chewbacca. Now, if you guys haven't seen it, it is so freaking funny. It's literally the funniest thing. Whoops. Let's go to the videos. This is it. Here, I'm gonna give it to you. It's so funny. I mean, you guys, just for a good laugh, you gotta watch it. I mean, it's like one of the most shared videos in the world. There, it's on there now. I just put it on there. Um, but yeah, Pedro says the video is just idiotic. It's not idiotic. It's infectious. It's contagious. It's so funny when you because she's truly. I mean, it wasn't like she was just laughing, and it's contagious. It's like yawning, It's like, but but anyway, we have two of those. We've had them since they've come out, and they're really cool. They're really cool masks. But anyway, that you can't get them anywhere now. They're apparently they're apparently like just sold out everywhere. It's they're awesome though, the Chewbacca masks. Actually, my kids wore them when they went to go see the Star Wars movie in the theater. When we went to the theater, they wore them. They're they're so funny. The masks are really cool, actually. Um, you know, my son, my youngest son, he is a big Chewbacca fan. He went to Comic Con in Silicon Valley just a few months ago, and he got his signature from Peter Mayhew. I think that's his name. I think that's how you pronounce his name, Peter Mayhew, who is the actual Chewbacca, and he and Peter Mayhew have the same birthday, which is May 19th, which is just a couple of days ago. So Chewbacca's the real Chewbacca from the movie. His birthday was just a week ago. Anyway, funny stuff. All right, let's go over to the Kiwi. Let's get talking about what really matters. Um, let's see. So the Kiwi, I I'm really not too sure what to do with it at this point. I'm not trading the Kiwi here. Let me delete all this stuff. Aside, I still have some Aussie New Zealand short or long, excuse me. Okay, but I'm gonna draw this. I'm a firm believer while we're below this yellow line here that it's still a short. Okay. It's been very frustrating if you've been on the short side of the Kiwi, which I'm not currently. Aside from the Aussie New Zealand, I don't have any other Kiwi dollar exposure here. But we may be set up in some sort of channel like this, okay? And I think you can sell rallies. I mean, I'll look to sell rallies. The question is just how far are we going to rally here? So if we can get a move above 68 cents, um, if we can get a quote above or a trade above 68 cents, I think that's probably not a bad place to be on the short side. I'm going to write 68.10. It's not a great resistance, but it's, in my opinion, it's still in a bearish trend. It's just very frustrating, but it's still, we're rolling over here. Support for the Kiwi. See, I don't even think that you can't even draw any trend line support here. I mean, it's not very technical right now. Like the Kiwi's on its own program. It's not even giving us much technical support or resistance anywhere that makes much sense, which really could explain why it's just chopping around. Like I said, as frustrating as it is, I think there's a reason why it's not doing much. So 67.70 is the 618. 67.70 is the 38% retracement. Both of these lows. So that's some support right now. I'm going to write it down. It's not great support. It's just below the market. We'll break out of it soon, I'm sure. Just there's not a whole lot to do at the moment. Hold on really quick. Crude looks like it's rolling over here. I'm going to rebuy. I just rebought some Norwegian krona, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Crude's starting to roll over here. Okay, let's go over to the Aussie. So here's the Aussie rejecting, obviously, that our big dotted red line that we've had since last week. You guys know why it's so significant. You have to go all the way back here. Here's your daily. High, high, resistance, 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 support, resistance. I mean, it's all same prices. Okay, that means that the high here at 72.60 will be resistance today. 72.60, and then the low at 71.75 is support. Okay. Bearish. Okay, let's go over to the dollar. Okay, so here's the dollar index. Now, the dollar index, if you guys don't recall, we're coming into some pretty major support here. We had our resistance. I'm sorry. We had our flag pattern completion. Now that means, and then we have this resistance coming in play. So that means that this 95.50 is pretty big resistance now. Ooh, hold on. Ah. Big resistance at 95.50. Big resistance there, which also would coincide with the euro dollar. I mean, if the euro dollar slips through that 111.80, that's gonna take us out of this range environment in the dollar index and turn it bullish, right? I mean, because there's our channel. So if we can break above those highs, which would be, like I said, 111.80, then this thing's gonna take off. Crude oil's rolling over, by the way. Support is at 95 cents. I think those are the same numbers we wrote down on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. All right, let's go over to the peso. So I'm not doing anything with the peso, but we did. This didn't transfer over, didn't save correctly. We did roll over on Friday towards this 1825. 1825, if you don't remember, this was a big resistance. It is, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it was the 50% retracement. That's what stalled us, that 825. That should give us support on the way back down. And then we'll also write down 1860, right? And if this thing breaks 1860, it is gone. 1860, 1825, okay? And this thing is bullish at the moment. And as you guys know, I want to be a seller closer to 19, now. But yeah, the stock market, if the stock market rolls over, this thing's gonna, come right back up. All right, let's take a look at the Norwegian krona. I just bought the Norwegian krona just moments ago. Now we're right at the 618, but it looks like we're gonna try to break higher, thanks to crude. The dips have been shallow. Now you have to also keep in mind with this Norwegian krona, we have a inverted head and shoulder pattern that points to 855. Okay, so if we can break 836, the next resistance would be basically 839.50. So US dollar, Norwegian krona. Resistance 8.36, 8.3950. Okay, that would be key. It's bullish because it's coming out of that inverted head and shoulder pattern, right? Support right now is 830. Let's go over to the Swedish krona. I do not own the Swedish krona right now, or I don't own the US dollar Swedish krona rather. But we dipped right to 830, which was our support from last week, right? Which we talked about last week about it being a nice long from there. I did not buy it, 830, and then resistance is at 838. All right, there you go. Wow, John Williams just said 2 to 3 rate hikes in 2016 is about right. Wow. Interesting. Okay, there's your bias chart.